All right, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you on a Friday. It is Friday evening. I want to make sure I respect everyone getting back to your family. I'm ready to get back and enjoy my family as well. Needed to do this video, though, because a lot of people have been watching and seeing and asking questions about the pennies to Africa. And I really appreciate that. And so I wanted to just come on here and spend a couple of minutes talking about pennies to Africa, what it is, why we're doing it, the way that we're doing it. And I'm gonna post a slide so you guys can kind of see when we talk about pennies to Africa, why and where that's coming from. So I want to make sure that I'm as transparent as I can be so you guys can gain hopefully a deeper appreciation of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The takeaway should be hopefully you guys saying, you know what, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to support this concept because I see the potential. I see the end being greater. And this is why we have it set at such a low amount because we understand we have to earn your trust and that takes time and repetition. So that's why we're not asking people to go fast. We're talking about 100 pennies to Africa. 100 pennies to Africa. That's $1. And what this does, it allows you to begin to establish some interactions with us that hopefully will lead to greater trust because there is a bigger picture that we're working toward. So first, let me show you guys the map so you can see exactly what we're working with, what we're working on when it comes to the continent, the motherland. Okay, so um, we're waiting on this to open up here. Um, when you're on live, for those people who haven't gone live, when you're on live, what happens is, excuse me, and where I am in the mountains, it interferes with um, PowerPoint, Excel, and whatnot. So as quickly as I wanted to get to Excel to show you some, because I'm on using the Wi-Fi, is taking up the space. So we'll see if I can get to it. But I want to show you guys the map of Africa, and I want to show you how it's linked to what we do here in the U.S. Like that's the key. So you can see that, and hopefully see why we're doing 20 different countries in Africa. So what we're waiting on right now, there it is. Wonderful. Okay. So let's get to the color version so you can see, and I'm gonna blow it up a little bit higher so you guys can really see it. Um, let's go down here. Okay, this is what I want you guys to see right here, and let's make this bigger here. All right, so let's go right here. This here is a map of Africa. So the way I want to do this, if you guys don't mind, is I will first highlight what we're doing and the linkages, and then I point out to you guys why we're doing it. So Chicago is the headquarters for everything we do around the world. So yellow represents the west side of Chicago. Green represents the middle of Chicago, south side. And then blue down here represents the east side of Chicago. So I'm going to go through each one of these so you can see. 60651 in Chicago, that's Chicago Avenue, North Avenue, is Little Western Sahara. That's why you see Humboldt Park here. So Humboldt Park, Pennies go here. North Lawndale, Roosevelt Road, Cermak, is Little Senegal in Africa. West side of Chicago, west side of Africa. So pennies from North Lawndale go to Senegal. Sierra Leone is linked to 60624 Garfield Park. Pennies from Garfield Park go to Sierra Leone. Cote d'Ivoire is linked to South Austin, 60644. Pennies from here go there. East Garfield Park, Bull Stadium area, their pennies 60612 go to Ghana. And then in North Austin, 60639 zip code, those pennies go to Nigeria. And I'm going to talk about Nigeria a little bit as well. So these are 6 zip codes on the west side of Chicago, all linked to the 6 countries in Africa that we are a part of. You come over here, the green. This is Egypt. Egypt is linked to Chicago's Auburn Gresham, 79th and Ashland. So pennies from that area go to support Egypt. Sudan is linked to Inglewood, 60621. Pennies from Inglewood go to support Sudan, our brother Hassan there in Sudan. Djibouti is linked to Marquette Park, Chicago Lawn, 60629. Pennies from those zip codes, neighborhoods go to Djibouti. Somalia is linked to West Inglewood, 60636 zip code. Pennies from that zip code, West Inglewood, goes to support Somalia. Ethiopia is linked to Chicago's New City zip code, 60609 zip code. Pennies from '09 go to Ethiopia. South Sudan is linked with Sudan. South Sudan is the Arabs in north kicked the blacks to the south, took the oil up north so they can be closer to Egypt. That's some racism that's happening in our country. We'll deal with that later. 60652 zip code, which is Ashburn, 79th and Western area. That's linked to Kenya in Africa. So pennies from Ashburn go to support Kenya. Let me clear this out. We come down a little bit here. Thought I undid that there. Let's clear that out again. All right. And it still didn't clear it out. Okay. All right. It's not working. So, don't know how do you clear this out. Clear all my drawings. I did that. All right. Had to come out totally, you guys. So let's get down to the blue. All right. So now we get to the blue. And I'm gonna have to go and get that little tab again so you guys can see again. Okay. So here we have 60615 zip code. Sorry about this, you guys. This thing is taking longer than I thought. Okay, here we go. So 60615, President Obama's zip code, Hyde Park, Washington Park is linked to Congo in Africa. Angola is linked to Chatham, 79th and King Drive area. Pennies from Chatham goes to support Angola. Nibia in Africa is linked to Bronzeville, 60653. Pennies go there. Roseland, all the way in the hundreds. Pennies from Roseland go to support South Africa. Botswana is linked to Washington Heights. So pennies from Washington Heights, 60643, go to Botswana. Zambia is linked to South Shore. 60649 pennies go to Zambia. Tanzania, 60617 is linked to Chicago's Calumet Heights. Pennies from Calumet Heights go for Tanzania. And the last one is 60637 zip code. Woodlawn is linked to Zimbabwe. Pennies from Woodlawn go to support Zimbabwe. All right, so what I just shared with you is the big picture of the whole vision that we have for taking 20 of Africa's 55 countries, 20 of them, and making sure, let me zoom out so you guys can see the big picture, making sure that Chicago is a part of what we do globally in Africa. What this benefits Chicago, and let me come out of this. How this benefits Chicago is because the oppressors of us in our community are over in Africa, all along the coast, living good, but painting a picture in America that Africa is a place you don't want to come to. It's that isolation that's allowing them to continue to exploit Africa in trillions of dollars. They want to keep blacks in the U.S. and the diaspora away from Africa. Now, every energy we can give to connect to the billion strong in Africa works against the oppressors who want to keep us blind and isolated. So when we talk about pennies to Africa, it's really a plea for us to say, how can we begin the relationship with Africa at a rate that minimizes your risk? Because that's the whole thing. When we talk about trust, it's risk. It's risk whenever you choose to trust. So that's why we have 100 pennies to Africa, so that we can make certain that your risk is so low that even if things aren't what we say they are, you're not losing nothing but 100 pennies. So we hope that that speeds up everything that we're talking about, because what we're asking for is low risk. All right. So hopefully that takes away all the reasons people wouldn't do it. Now, I do want you guys to know the other aspects of pennies, 100 pennies to Africa, because Chicago is the going to be the most beneficiary of this happening, because in every zip code that's linked to an African country, we're going to make certain that we have a museum, hopefully from an abandoned building on a block that's desolate, and we're going to turn that block into a tourism attraction by putting that African museum there, so that the people from all over the city will come in and visit and see what we've obtained from Africa in your sister exchange, where we take our pennies to Africa too and get that exchange. With this technology, we can zoom and go live with that sister African country, and we can make a connection. Out of the three groups that collided to form the U.S., the Indians, the Africans, and the evil Europeans that came over here, that collision of those three groups, two of them got something out the deal and one didn't. The Indians have reservations and they have a budget every year that goes into a fund that's not enough, but it's something for them. The Europeans got to build up for free labor and bring their people over from Europe, and the Africans got nothing. And that's where we stand right now. So for us to begin to make these broader connections to the continent is more than needed. And it's a spiritual connection as well as, in this case, 100 pennies connection. So I wanted you guys to see that. See if I could show you guys one more thing, and then that'll be all that I wanted to really express to people so they can come on board with this whole concept, hopefully. So, this here are the 55 countries in Africa. It's 55, 55. And these are alphabetized. So, this is A through E. These are all 19 countries out of 55 begin with the alphabets A through E in Africa. We only have 20. So that means there's 35 other countries that we don't have linkages with. But what we're going to do is we're going to do associations to link them in. Some of these countries are so small, and that's part of the colonial days, how they split us up over there. So we'll work on bridging that, but that's more management. So we're not gonna worry about that right now. But I wanted you guys to see uh, F through K last names is 7 African countries out of 55. Then it's 12 beginning with the alphabets L through N. It's only one P through R, which is Rwanda. It's 13 S, T, and U, beginning with the alphabets S, T, and U. And there's three with the alphabets V through Z, which is Western Sahara, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So your pennies to Africa will eventually allow us to touch all 55, but we're starting with these 20. So that's what I wanted to make sure that you guys saw. Um, as I close out here, let me tell you about the other aspects of the loose change for global change, because that's what the 100 pennies is. We need 1,000 households to in Chicago, hopefully, to come on board before October 31st. 100 households before 1,000 households before October 31st. If we get 100 and them 100 households commit to getting 10 other households, that's our 1,000 households. The goal is to do loose change for global change. Loose change for global change. I just went through and showed you how every Chicago neighborhood is linked to a different country in Africa. When we do that, when we get the 1,000 households to agree, we will have $1,000 just through 100 pennies to support our people in Africa. One American dollar is worth $360 in Ghana money. One American dollar is worth $9,200 in Congo money. So your 100 pennies matter. All right. We also, because the argument some people have is, what about home? We worry about Africa. What about home? We got home covered. We do 4 quarters, part of loose change, for your zip code. 4 quarters stay in your zip code. That's the largest denomination of coins, quarters, so it stays in your zip code. That's $1. 4 quarters, $1 stay in your zip code. 100 pennies, that's $1. It goes to Africa. We also have 20 nickels. 20 nickels is $1, and that is designed for Mississippi. People say, why Mississippi? Mississippi is the closest state out of 50 states to being at least a 40% black state. No other state is close other than Louisiana at 32%. So the goal is to keep investing in Mississippi so we have at least one state out of 50 states that we can hopefully be able to build and go to, just like the Latino community uses Texas that way. So we right now don't have a state that we can go to that we kind of have some control and jurisdiction over. Gary, Indiana is our city that we can do that in, but we talking about a whole state with 82 counties. So that's a big deal if we can do that. So your 20 nickels go to build up Mississippi. Then the last one is 10 dimes. 10 dimes is $1. What 10 dimes does, it allows us to, and I think I will show you guys this. 10 dimes allow us to make certain that we build up our 20 sister cities. Now, if you don't know, every one of them zip codes I gave you is linked to one US city. And the purpose of that is, again, our oppressors need us to stay isolated and on a hamster wheel, going around in circles, not going anywhere. That's what they need us to do. In almost every inner city in this nation, you see the same setup as if it was law. Black men hanging out, people unemployed, uh, uh, police riding around looking like an occupying force, trash and debris everywhere. It's unacceptable, but we've accepted it. And this is one of the reasons why your 10 dimes, which is $1, is going to allow us to put money in every one of our black cities, 20 black cities, so that they can start to interact with us. Remember, our interactions, our interdependency is key, because the enemy want to keep you isolated and on a hamster wheel going around in circles by yourself. I thought I was going to be able to pull it up, but I'm not able to. So at least to me, you're walking away knowing it's not just pennies to Africa, it's loose change for global change. 100 pennies for Africa, 20 nickels for Mississippi, 10 dimes for the sister city, and 4/4 stay in your zip code. We cover 4 jurisdictions with $4. $1 in pennies, $1 in nickels, $1 in dimes, $1 in quarters. Hopefully taking away the excuse on where that money is going and why I don't trust. The worst thing you're going to do is you're going to lose 100 pennies, 10 dimes, 20 nickels, or 4/4. But look at what we get to gain. My number is 312-405-8844. That's 312-405-8844. I would love to hear from you directly to answer any questions you may have about this. And what I told a few people that said this was a scam and some scheme, everything scheme comes from schematic. Everything is drawn out if you're putting something together. So everything can be a scheme, schematic. But the question is, what do you lose? What do you lose? You lose if this is a negative scheme. You lose 100 pennies. It's $1. You lose 10 dimes. That's $1. You lose 20 nickels. That's $1. You lose penny, nickel, dimes, quarters, 4/4. So what I'm saying to you, your losses will be capped at $4, but the gains is enormous. So thanks for watching, you guys. Please share this video with other people. Just let them know the change we seek is right in front of us. It's just a matter of tapping.